Hey, Keto, you know where I want to go next? What do you say we go back to the Lone Star State and check in on Sark and the Longhorns and see what's going on with them, man. They are the epitome to me of like the Uncle Ben territory of with great power comes great responsibility, fellas. Like if you're gonna have all this roster talent, we're gonna have Cam Coleman, we're gonna have Raleek Brown, we're gonna have Hollywood Smothers. We got Arch Manning back for yet another year. The chosen one, the last name Manning, year 4 in the system under Steve Sarkeesian. Colin Simmons back. I mean, Rasheem Biles from Pitt, who's an all-conference kind of player coming in there for Texas. I think that Texas in general here should be very much so teed up to not just compete for an SEC championship, but I would say battle for a national championship. Cato, I actually believe I saw this number on social media somewhere across the Twitterverse, so I did not mean to peek at this. This would have been my guess. I think they're in that exact same, like to use a word that you use semi-frequently here, exact same ilk of an A&M or of a Georgia. I believe Texas, I would have put them here. I think I saw them here. I think over under 9.5 wins is where Texas is at in Vegas. I would take the over. If they're not winning 10 games this year with year 2 Arch Manning, with all they got via the portal, with how they've recruited, we got problems. So I think the number's over under 9.5 with some honesty there. I think that's what it is. And I'll take the over there with knowing what we know about their roster.
Well, JD, first of all, I want to commend you. I did miss Texas in our lineup when we were going through the show notes. So happy that you took the controls over and got us into Austin where we belong. But you're correct. I don't know if we should count it or not count it because of your technicality of potentially seeing it. Maybe we give you a half point there. But it is 9.5, and this can't be any lower for Texas, right? I think if the schedule was any more favorable, 10.5 would honestly be a fair line, just given the expectations and what we saw last year with the Arch Manning early Heisman stuff. So this is one of the most hyped teams in the country, rightfully so, and I think this 9.5 is extremely fair.
I think, too, when you look at Texas, the conversation last year, especially like midway through the year where Arch is kind of trying to find his footing and the offense is struggling a little bit, it became a lot of people questioning, like, hey, should Sark be calling plays? Like, hey, are we sure that Sark's the right guy to be on the headset in Austin when it comes to offensive decisions? And I was like, is that really all it takes for us to question Steve Sarkeesian? Is that all it takes for us to question his acumen as a play caller? Is a couple of games don't go so great with a new offensive line, a first-year starting quarterback, and maybe a lack of, let's call a spade here, a lack of talent that he's used to having at the wide receiver position, and all of a sudden we're like, I don't know if Sark's a good play caller. Like, that to me just felt so silly. I think this year will prove it was more about roster last year than it was about Sark. I think Cam Coleman in the mix here to put more pressure on defenses, to go with Ryan Wingo here in year 2. I mean, I said at the top of this thing, Cato, it is the Uncle Ben territory of, hey, Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. Hey, Sark. Hey, Texas. Hey, everyone involved in Austin with great roster talent, with Arch Manning year 4, with Cam Coleman, with the way that we're spending right now, comes great responsibility. So it's about competing for the SEC championship. Obviously, I'm sure win the SEC is one of the goals for the folks in Austin, but you better go make some noise in that playoff and go play for a national title. I think the most important game, Cato, if we're going to be honest about this thing, I think it's week 2 against Ohio State. Like, I think that is the sounding gun to their season. I think it's the pace setter to what they got to be this year. Like, everybody knows what Ohio State is at a roster talent level. I think there's no question about Sayin and Jeremiah Smith, and even at this point now, the way they've accumulated talent, I'd be shocked if the defense isn't phenomenal this year in Columbus. That game a year ago was a part of the equation that kept them out of the college football playoff. I would hope from Texas we show up a little bit pissed off, a little bit of extra energy, eager to defend home field and right the wrongs from last season. That's the game where, okay, we start setting the pace for what we're going to be here in 2026. And the question in line with all that for the season and Ohio State in general, where are we out on the O-line? I know we're using words like it's coming along. We're using words like developmental. We're using words like confident. Last year, we were using the same kind of words. Hey, a lot of guys that haven't played together before, but we like the personnel. We like the makeup of this unit. Okay, I believe it. I'm optimistic with it, but I need to see it. Is it truly fixed? You can say it's fixed. I've had many time my car's been fixed or had someone come fix something in the house. You say, yeah, it's all good. Just go ahead and run it for a little bit, and it'll be fine in a couple of days. And then a couple of days pass, and it's like, you told me it was fixed. You did the things to fix it, but it wasn't fixed. Is that the offensive line for Texas? Is that Is that engine still making some funny noises? Is the tire still leaking a little bit, or do we have a vehicle that can go win a national championship? So obviously, feel strongly about Texas, Cato, for all the reasons we just mentioned. But it's got to be this year, man. Arch isn't coming back next season, man. This is it.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's keeping it from being 10.5 is the Ohio State game. Like, to me, if you have a cupcake in your non-conference, this is at 10.5, and you talk about that being the most important game, man. I think more important than anything for both of these teams, you got to keep it close. Like, to me, both of their schedules have a couple spots, especially Ohio State's, and we'll get to the Big Ten in another show. If you lose that game by close enough, if you lose it by a field goal in overtime, maybe you have some room for margin for error on your schedule, to where if Texas loses Red River, if they lose to an LSU, but they're all close and that Ohio State game is close, I think there is a path for Texas or Ohio State to maybe make it to the playoff as a 9-win team, just given how good of a showing they can show in those big moments. So like you mentioned, it's make or break. Whatever number it takes to get to the playoff, I like to say, as long as Texas hits that, it's all as well in Austin. But man, that non-conference game, a lot of pressure there for sure, and one that everyone's excited for, both in these four walls and beyond, for sure, when you talk about just the excitement of college football games heading into next year.
It's going to be so awesome. I cannot wait.